Anant, who is the head of Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting at Bangalore International Airport Limited, with over 3 decades of experience in aviation, fire safety, emergency response, and airport operations. He leads one of India's premier ARFF teams, a qualified fire and safety professional. Mr. Anant is recognized for his expertise in airport emergency preparedness, crisis management, operational resilience, and safety leadership, contributing to the world-class aviation safety standards at Bangalore International Airport, Bangalore. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful production. Alright, so this is the topic which I'm going to present right now. A few months back, when Preeti called me, told me that I have to present the paper here. So, to an organization of airports and futuristic development of the 4C. So, nothing came to my mind in fact, and I thought what to present. And then I thought of how the airports are developing, how the aircrafts are modernizing and all that. So, this came to my mind and I thought of putting into PPT and just present it in terms of firefighting, how this development of hydrogen-based machines which are going to come into the airport are going to affect the firefighting aspects and what are the challenges that firefighting is going to face in future. So let's go through the presentation. So these are the points which I will be covering in this, how the hydrogen machines are advancing in aviation. COSIA, which is one of the schemes which is related to ICAO. Why hydrogen? And hydrogen versus emergency response, hazard profile of ARFF, and the hazard which ARFF is going to face, and how ARFF is going to reinforce in terms of hydrogen-based aircrafts, and what has been done. This is what I'm just going to cover in this. So hydrogen aircrafts are already test flight tested. In Germany, a company called H2 Fly have conducted a pilot liquid hydrogen aircraft in 2020. United States, a Universal Hydrogen, a company called Universal Hydrogen, has also tested a flight based on hydrogen, which is based on again hydrogen electric aircraft flight tested. And in United Kingdom, UK-based Zero India has also tested in passenger aircraft, followed by France and China, etc. Ground support equipment have also started running on hydrogen. Memphis International Airport of USA tested 15 hydrogen cell cargo tractors operated by FedEx. So these one the ground service equipment aspects. Helsinki Airport, Finland has conducted tests for wind, for wind conditions up to minus 17 degrees centigrade for the ground support equipment. Next is airport in Canada, conducted GSA tests and so on. So there are a lot of airports which are delving into this hydrogen-based machines, and it's not far that hydrogen is going to come into airports. From the era of readiness, of course, yes, we have to keep a pace with that. Okay, when you go abroad, now in India also we have tested hydrogen-based rail, hydrogen fuel cell and lithium-ion battery, which is this state runs on fuel cells and lithium-ion batteries. The route from Jin to Sonepat has been tested in India. Technology was hydrogen fuel cell propulsion. Training was a formation of 10 coaches, and it touched a speed of 120 kilometers per hour. And on a single hydrogen cell. So on a single hydrogen refuel it went for around 250 kilometers with zero carbon emission. Only water vapor and heat was the byproduct. So this is one of the pride event what we had. It is recently done in India. So if fails can come around that comes. So COSIA is carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation. This is one of the ICAO scheme which is adopted in 39th ICAO Assembly. ICAO Council approved Annex 16 Part 4 containing the standards and relevant practices for COSIA implementation. On 1st January 2019, mandatory monitoring, reporting and verification requirements became applicable for participating operators, including all states who are the members of ICAO. Then between 21 to 23, the pilot phase started, and 24 to 26, the first phase currently completed in progress, depending on reporting cycle. And from 27 to 35, when the second phase starts, covering most ICAO states with certain exemptions, hydrogen is also eligible. Now, this is one of the fuel which is being eligible. This is a criteria set by ICAO for giving the eligibility for getting into this scheme. So, hydrogen is one of the fuel which is meeting all the criteria to be put into operations for hydrogen. Now, hydrogen, one is it has become one more thing which I want to put into this one is hydrogen is there are two groups of fuel which has been categorized in COSIA. One is sustainable aviation fuel and low carbon aviation fuel. So hydrogen comes into low carbon aviation fuel, which is zero carbon emission with only water vapor as a byproduct. Sustainable aviation fuel is a combination of different chemicals like ethanol, isopropanol, and other aspects. It can be vegetable oil based mixed with jet fuel. So that comes with the sustainable aviation fuel. But hydrogen is low carbon aviation fuel, which is recognized. So the one part, and zero carbon emission is the second criteria which ICAO has recognized it, and no other element or the chemical meets this criteria of zero carbon. And this supports ICAO's long-term climate goals of net zero emission by national aviation by 2050. So hydrogen is going to come. And I think we have to gear up for getting ready to meet its challenges. So hydrogen can be produced. Why hydrogen is hydrogen can be produced by renewable energy. So there are different types of hydrogen, which is called green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, grey hydrogen. Green hydrogen is produced using renewable energy and is preferred option for sustainable aviation. Blue hydrogen uses natural gas with carbon capture as a transition pathway. While grey hydrogen doesn't do any carbon capture, but it produces hydrogen by the existing chemicals of maybe or other chemicals of hydrocarbon fuels. So green hydrogen is most preferred choice because it is again developed from renewable sources and doesn't have any impact on the environment. Now, how the firefighting people have to care for this? Now, when hydrogen burns, its flame is not visible. It is complete combustion happening, and usually in hydrocarbon fuels we see yellow flames or orange flames. But when hydrogen burns, the flame is not visible in a sunny day when there is a bright light. So hydrogen is not visible. The gas is odorless. So unable to detect it very easily. There is one challenge. Very low ignitability. 10% the energy required to ignite hydrogen is 10 times less than the present jet level fuel. And it has to be kept into cylinders, which is liquefied at minus 253 degrees centigrade. Using the criteria of cryogenic liquids, which is again one of the dangerous, let us say, a situation, what I can say, that those kind of cylinders are put into the passenger aircraft and being flown. A wide range of flammability range, usually the flammability range of liquid jet fuel is between 1 to 70% in air, but this gas has got a 4 to 75% of percentage of this gas which is there in the air, which is ignited. So the flammability range is very, very high. The buoyancy effect, it diffuses, it raises high, it makes a cloud, and then if there is a nuisance source impact, then there is UCBC happening. Most of the fire professionals will know what is UCBC. And you can find the vapor cloud explosion, which is very dangerous. And in this situation, if you have to rescue someone, if the aircraft crashes and it is leaking and operating into gas and making a cloud kind of situation, and firefighters reaches there and try to rescue those people, there's going to be a big challenge. Because one spark can explode the entire the fire scene there. High pressure jet fires, because these are cryogenic cylinders, and when the fuel is leaking, suppose through any pipelines, it is going to be high pressure jets, and this is going to be a big challenge to extinguish or to contain those kind of fires. So the key takeaway for the firefighters is hydrogen is not simply another flammable gas. Its detection, ignition, flame visibility, and storage behavior are operationally different. Now, one more thing which is very challenging, because the hydrogen has to be stored in somewhere in the airport itself. So now we have fuel stations which are supplying fuel to the aircraft for refueling. But at the same time, when hydrogen aircraft comes, the hydrogen fuel farms has to be there, and those from the fuel farm, the hydrogen is carried to the aircraft, and the aircraft has to be refueled. So the protection for the fire protection for those installations is critical, and the challenges are much bigger for them. The comparison between jet fuel and the hydrogen aircraft, these are the hazards which I could identify. One is visibility, because the hydrogen is not visible, but the jet even fuel, when it burns, it is visible, the smoke is visible, and the radiation heat is often felt. When hydrogen burns, the radiation heat is also very less. The feeling of heat when the hydrogen is burning is very less. So you are able to identify the hydrogen is burning or not. And if it is burning, only when you notice when you burn, catch it out your hand comes in contact with the flames. The fuel behavior, it forms whatever is liquid fuel, the same liquid fuel, and slowly evaporates into the air and makes a cloud. But hydrogen gas, when it leaks, makes a big cloud. The expansion ratio is very high. The liquid hydrogen expands very high, and if the liquid hydrogen is touched or it gets in contact with the person, it is very, very dangerous. It makes cold frost bites and all that. So this is again a challenge, that how to make the firefighter safe enough when he is handling these kind of fires. Now ignition again, the risk of ignition is for hydrogen is much very, very high as compared to jet fuel. Ignition is very serious, but flammable range is narrow. I was just explaining in the previous slide, the flammable range of hydrogen is 4 to 75%. But for the jet fuel, it's between 1 to 17%. Storage again. The jet fuel is stored in big and center tanks, sometimes in the belly, in the undercarriage, and no liquid fuel behavior. When the fuel is lean, we have restricted fuel and we have spillages and we know the behavior of the liquid fuel. But in a cryogenic leak, the hydrogen leaks, the pressure, the relief systems, we have to be aware about how to isolate those systems. The fuel cells, it is the electric fuel cell generating the hydrogen being fuel for the cells. Then again, how to deal with that situation. And the thermal systems and vents, because whenever hydrogen is burning, we have a lot of heat generated and the heat has to be dissipated. So those vents are very important to know for the firefighters to control those kind of situations. Again, the detection of fire and smoke is very easy in jetting fuel, but however in hydrogen, the is not easy. So it's very, very challenging. So these are some reinforcements, but ARFF or the establishment fire team have very into their own systems. Portable hydrogen detectors, fixed sensors, storage and different areas, thermal imaging cameras, monitoring area, ARFF for flame and tank reading. So whenever there is any reading of flames are happening, so these imaging cameras will enable the firefighters to know where is the actual fire happening, and the firefighters can restore the response. There should be a huge amount of water supply and to make water better, especially when there is a hydrogen fuel on fire. Cooling is most important or most reliable source of the way to extinguish those kind of fires. If suppose there is a pressure fire, then you have to find out where the ball is and you have to put the ball so that the fire extinguishes as soon as the ball is finished. But if it is a huge leak because of the rupture of the tank and all, you have to only any kind of water supply. The training, one of the important aspects is training. The new hydrogen fires have to be taught to the firefighters how to actually do the tactical firefighting in terms of sustainable fuel is now what they have been adopted to now. And now when the hydrogen comes, the training is going to become more and more important to deal with such fires. Personal protective equipment. Now for the sustainable fires, we have a lot of equipment which can protect us, but when hydrogen is there, then in those cases, explosion is what is going to be seen, and the PPE or the firefighters is going to be should protect themselves from, the PPE should protect them from those kind of situations. So the PPEs are going to be, PPEs are going to be much more clear, robust, and I'm not sure whether with that robust PPE, the people are, the firefighters are able to move themselves, go to near to the aircraft and rescue the people. That is going to be a challenge. Again, knowledge about aircraft hydrogen layout, where are the tanks positioned, how many tanks, what are the isolation switches, how to isolate the leaks, if suppose there are the fuel cells, how to disarm those fuels and how to utilize those cells is one of the important technical aspects what firefighters are supposed to know. And then, of course, the command and control. We have to have licensing experts there. We have to have predefined license with fuel suppliers and airport operation airlines, various other emergency response schemes, DFE and all those. Mostly the people who are dealing with hydrogen fuel and the experts on that. We should have the contact with them and the license should help us to tackle how are we going to manage the kind of situation. So, for the firefighting aspect, this entire reinforcement have to be amalgamated into one equipment that is called the crash fire tender. And in this crash fire tender, you should have all those things what I just showed you in the previous slide. And I'm not sure whether the existing crash fire tender is going to get with this kind of system. Of course, we have the capabilities in Canada right now in our systems, but the other systems that different modes of water sprays and the DCP, the amount of DCP that I have to carry is going to be a different challenge. The windshields and the glass parts of the passenger has to be robust enough to withstand the explosion if suppose it happens in the background. These are some of the challenges which we have to face in the future. Apart from this, now the reports are categorized from the level of protection based on the length and width of the aircraft. But when the hydrogen comes into aircraft, this theory of categorizing the aircraft based on the length and width is not going to be applicable because the entire fuel itself is going to change. And when the fuel is changing, the response time is going to change. Because now we have the response time of 2 minutes in the runway. But within 2 minutes, with the hydrogen fuel aircraft, we get 2 minutes emission time because it explodes. Are we going to place the crash pad and just deliver the runway? And how to deal with these kind of situations? So these are some things which we have to think about. It is a long way we have to go because the flight tests have already started and I'm not sure when these aircraft are really operated by the commercial airlines. But in future, surely these are going to come. And I'm sure we have some kind of solutions right now. We have firefighting aspects. This kind of vehicles what we have, the gadgets what we have shown in this, the cameras and the flame detectors and the leak detectors, we have this equipment, but because of explosive environment, how are we to calculate? That is going to be more challenging for us. With this, I close my session. Any questions from the audience?